Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare. So, welcome to Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavat Rasamalyam in English. So, as we just a recap, in a last session, we saw that how Vasudeva was so humble, though he is in an exalted position, though he is a topmost devotee, though Vasudeva was the father of Krishna, still he was begging and pleasing the sage Narada Muni to show compassion and mercy towards him so that he can engage in the service of the Lord, so that he can serve the Lord to the greater extent. And also he was telling, I was totally captivated by Maya, so I couldn't get the liberation. So as I am very fortunate to have your darshan and your valuable association, somehow or other, please give me tips, enlighten me so that I can engage in the service of Krishna's lotus feet, serving Krishna's lotus feet. So that's how the Vasudeva, though he was father of Krishna, he was pleasing the great sage Narada Muni, who is also the incarnation of who is also the mercy incarnation of Krishna. Now we can just dive in to the verse number 9. So let me read the verse. Yata vichitra vyasanad bhavadbir vishvato bayat muchyema hi anjaso anjasaivadha tatana saddhi suvrata. Yata, so that, synonyms. Vichitra vyasanat, which is full of various dangers. Bhavadbi, because of you. Vishvata Bhayat, from this material world, which is fearful everywhere. Muchyema, I may be liberated. He indeed, Anjasa, easily. Eva, even. Adha, directly. Tata, thus, na, has. Sadhi, please instruct. Suvrata, oh, you are always true to your vow. Translation, purport given by Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, you are always true to your vow. Please instruct me clearly so that by your mercy I may easily free myself from material existence, which is full of many dangers and keeps us constantly bound in fear. So here Vasudeva is explaining the precarious condition, miserable condition of this material world. So it is naturally material world is Dukkalayam Ashashvatam. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that in this Dukkalayam it is very, very cumbersome, and there are a lot of hazels, lot of barriers, and a lot of obstacles, and so many intolerable conditions in material world. It is compared to Bhava Mahadavagni, the blazing fire in the forest. So that blazing fire, samsara dhava nalalila loka, that means in the forest, if each branches gets jerked, then it will catch fire. So that fire will spread on throughout the forest, and nobody can stop that fire. So this material world is such a blazing fire, nobody can stop it, but only if Guru shows compassion, he can bring the rains from the spiritual world and shower mercy on the conditioned souls. Similarly here also, he can bring the rain and put off the fire in the forest, in the deep forest. Similarly in our life also, Vasudeva is explaining that the material world is like a blazing fire. So we cannot just escape from this material world unless or otherwise we approach the spiritual master like Narada Muni and take the shelter of him and serve him humbly. By serving him humbly, by incurring him humbly, by doing service to his lotus feet. Definitely, because pure devotees are always in the heart of Krishna, and Krishna is always in the heart of pure devotees. It is reciprocation. So Only if you take the, because spiritual master is um, worshipped just like a god, just like Krishna. Vishwanath Chakravarti says, some Sakshat Hari Tvena Samastra Sastre. In all the Shastras, it is recommended that you should worship spiritual master as you worship Krishna. So that means equally you should worship, but spiritual master never thinks, never claims, never assures that he is a god. He says always he is serving the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, and Yasha Prasada, Bhagavat Prasada, Yasha Prasada, Nagatega Tobi. So, spiritual master is almost is not equal to Krishna, and he is not apart from Krishna. He is not over and above Krishna, but he is very dear, and even Krishna also is very dear to devotees, because devotees, their prosperity, their riches, their opulences, their belongings, everything is only Krishna. They totally depends on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And even Krishna also, for him there is no enjoyment without devotees. He always dwell in the hearts of pure devotees. So we can see in the Shastras that only if you um, take the shelter of pure devotees of the Lord, you can get the liberation. Otherwise, you will be doomed in this material world. You will be slapped in this material world. You will be kicked out of from this material. You will be kicked in this material world, and you will really collapse in this material world without the mercy of a spiritual master, like says Narada Muni. When Narada Muni, when Bruhari approached Narada Muni, when Dhruva Maharaj approached Narada Muni, when Narada Muni approached Bruhari, so Bruhari was a hunter. He was killing animals off killing. That means he will not kill fully, and he will kill in a half position, half condition, and he used to take he used to maintain the life from that half killing of the animals. So Narada Muni, Narada Muni approached him and inquired about him, and he spent more time so that he can liberate that hunter Bruhari. So one day he asked Bruhari, one day he saw in the forest everywhere the animals, half killed animals were scattered everywhere. So really the sage, pure sage like Narada Muni was so compassionate, and he wants to find out who that wretched person is. Then finally he found out that person, Bruhari, and he asked him, why are you doing like this? He said, my father taught me only this to maintain the family, and so you are slogging and working hard for your family so much by taking the wholesale of quantum of sins. So you go to your house and ask your wife and children that will they take some share of your sins, because you are alone. You are the breadwinner of your family, but you are taking the whole sins, wholesome sins, wholesale sins, bulk, in a bulk quantity you are taking sins in a larger quantity. So why can't you share with your family members? So he went and approached his wife. His wife said, no, I can't take that, all those sinful activities. I am not responsible for that. I'm least bothered about that. And even he went and asked their children. The children also said, you are the family member. You have to take the sins done by you. But he answered his wife and children that because of you only I am doing all those things. So what? We cannot take all those risks. We cannot take all those sinful activities into our life. You can take and you can do whatever you want. Then he went and answered Narada Muni. Narada Muni said, see, your family members, nobody is ready to share your sinful activities. Then what is the fun? What is the advantage? What is the benefit you are getting? You are become most sinful. That is why you stop these activities. And he asked Narada Muni, okay, my dear saint, I will stop this. But what about my family? What about my livelihood? He said, sit near the tulsi plant and keep chanting and depend on Krishna. and Krishna will supply you everything. Same way he carried out the instructions of Narada Muni. Then finally he became very transcendental, started chanting the holy names of the Lord in a pure state. Then spontaneously, 3 times he used to get the prasadam, and he had a lot of time to chant the holy names of the Lord. Then he became a pure devotee, and after so many years, when Narada Muni and Parvata Muni came to that place to see his disciple Bruhari, then Bruhari just gave prostrated obeisances to both of them, and Narada Muni said, why and also he took his cloth, and he was just driving off all the ants on this way. Then after that only he gave prostrate obeisance. And Narada Muni, Parvata Muni asked Narada Muni, what is he doing? And then Narada Muni went near him and saw all ants were all passing passing his way. So he removed all the sins, all the ants, and then he paid obeisances. So Narada Muni came to know how Narada Muni told his friend Parvata Muni, see my dear friend Parvata Muni, earlier he used to kill animals in half condition, so that animals used to they were not able to tolerate that torture. So now see, after chanting the holy names of the Lord, after taking prasadam and having devotees association, he became so humble and compassionate. Even he doesn't want to kill even a small insignificant tiny ant also. So unless or otherwise we take the association of a sadhu, we cannot get liberation. That's what here Vasudeva wants to express his thoughts. So if you want to go back home, back to Godhead, definitely we have to study Shastras and study these 2 verses, like 11th canto, 2nd chapter, 8 and 9 verse. So the moment's association will definitely change. The moment's association of sadhu will definitely change asura into the pure devotee. So according to Srila Jiva Goswami, the word Vishwato Bhayat indicates that Vasudeva very much feared the curse of the Brahmanas, as one can become perfect by worshipping the Vaishnavas. So just by worshipping the Vaishnavas or Narada Muni, because Vasudeva was very much feared after he heard that the Yadavas were cursed by Brahmanas in Pindaraka Tirtha. So that is why he was very alert and careful, so that he should not commit any offenses at the lotus feet of Vaishnava. So serving the Vaishnava is equal to serving Lord Krishna, because once the Vaishnava is pleased or satisfied, and Krishna is very much pleased and satisfied, there is no need to endeavor in different activities, because once you please Vaishnava or satisfy Vaishnava, it reaches to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why the disciplic successions, the mercy is very, very vital and in our spiritual life. So here in the words Anjasa Adda, Anjasa means easily and Adda means directly, are very important, because foolish persons proudly want to jump directly, because many foolish people nowadays still they are because of their non-awareness, unaware of the scriptural studies, they directly jump to Krishna, Supreme Personality of Godhead, to get the mercy and to get the liberation. Where Krishna has strongly recommended that only if you serve my Vaishnavas. We can see in Chaitanya Charitamrita also that when Raghunatha Goswami wants to have a direct association with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and wants to come to Vrindavan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, you stay in your home, and till your parents' presence, you stay here Afterwards, you serve my devotees and then come to Vrindavan. Then Raghunatha Goswami, after their uh, absence of their parents um, in Panihatti, he got the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, the pure devotee of the Lord, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And after getting the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, then only Raghunatha Goswami was very easier and lighter to get to access to the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like that, we can see so many characters of the devotees, like Prithu Maharaj uh, got the association of Chaturkumaras, and Chaturkumaras enlightened them, and also Ajamila got the association of um, uh, even Ajamila was also um, got the association of pure devotees, and he went to Haridwar, and then he did pure devotional service, and then he went back home, back to Godhead. And similarly, we can see Dhruva Maharaj got the association of Narada Muni. He did 6 months tapasya, and then afterwards, before doing tapasya, he got the instructions from Narada Muni. And even Prahlad Maharaj, even after Lord Narasimha asked him for the benediction, he said, "No, I want to serve my spiritual master Narada Muni. Then only I can come back to you." So that is the significance. You cannot go directly. Adha means directly. You cannot go directly to Supreme Personality of Godhead. You have to go approach only through disciplic succession and Guru Parampara. Only then we can get the mercy of the liberation from Krishna. So one who goes directly, Krishna asks, definitely. You can also see the examples in Ramanujacharya's Leelas. Once there was a milkmaid who was supplying milk to the Srirangam temple. So regularly she used to supply milk. One day there was so much crowd and she was too late, and she was not able to go inside because of too much crowd that day, because Sripad Ramanacharya had presented there, was present there. So she approached some devotees. Why? How can I supply the milk now? There is no way at all. There is no option. Then why? What is the reason? Why today is so crowd? Then the devotees said, our special master Sripad Ramanujacharya has come. That is why there is so much crowd, and people wants to have his darshan. Devotees wants to have darshan and mercy. So then the Mataji said, even I also want to have darshan of Sripad Ramanujacharya. You yourself, you milkmaid, how you can have? No, right? Somehow or other, desperately I want to have. Whatever difficulties may come, I want to go and meet him. Then they went and approached. The devotees went to secretaries went to Sripad Ramanujacharya, and they said that milkmaid wants to meet you, Swamiji. What can I do? Ramanujacharya said, "Oh, please send her." Then she came and asked Ramanujacharya, and she said, "Please give me one letter so that I can go to Vaikuntha." "What letter you want? Why you want letter?" Sripad Ramanujacharya deliberately asked. Then the milkmaid said, "No, Swamiji, without Guru's mercy, without Guru's recommendation, and without Guru's word, Krishna will not accept me, and Krishna will not accept me as a devotee, and I cannot get the mercy of Supreme Lord, or I cannot be promoted to the Vaikuntha Loka. So please give me the recommendation letter." Like materially we said no NOC, no objection. Like that, the milkmaid got the letter from Sripad Ramanujacharya, and she climbed the Vaikuntha hill without any barriers, and by chanting the Govinda's name, Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. So from this we can understand that directly one should not approach Krishna directly, but we have to go to we have to go systematically, or we have to approach through disciplic succession. Then only we can get the mercy and liberation of Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Hare. So worshipping the Vaishnava is like worshipping Krishna himself. That's what Krishna says. I will not dwell in the hearts of I'll not dwell in Vaikunta, but I'll dwell in the hearts of pure devotees who always glorify the names, who always chant the holy names of the Lord, and who always spread the holy names of the Lord, and who always spread my message to all, everywhere. So Vasudeva finally says that I cannot stay in this material world which is full of miseries, which are full of hassles, which are full of chaos. So it's so much inconvenient and uncomfortable for me to stay here. I don't have any capability to stay here. So please liberate me from this material world. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, गौर प्रेमानंद हरि हरि बोल. So people should also realize that just because you are going to temple, just because you are doing pujas, just because you are breaking coconuts, just because you are dropping your offerings, one cannot go to Krishna unless otherwise one has to approach the bona fide spiritual master. Then only, because the bona fide spiritual master knows the path, how to reach, how to access to the Supreme Personality of God, because he has seen the absolute truth. So this everyone has to bear in mind, and then they should approach bona fide spiritual masters, and they should take up the bona fide sampradayas, acharyas, and bona fide sampradayas institutions like Hare Krishna institution and Sri Sampradayas institutions. Like they should really take take shelter of these authorized sampradayas. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.